One of the more common uses of references in Perl is for hash references. So we'll go ahead and take a look at how that is done. And we'll start by making a working copy of refs.pl, and we'll call this hashref.pl, like that. And we'll open that up, and we'll go ahead and declare a hash. And a hash is declared with a %, you'll remember. And parentheses. We have a few things in this, so we'll go ahead and give us some space to do these on separate lines. This is, again, a common way to declare a hash with multiple lines for the elements. And we'll say name and Jimi Hendrix. It's very common when declaring hashes to omit the quotes in the key. And this is optional in Perl, and you'll see it done both ways. I tend to do it this way. Again, you'll see it both ways, and it's optional, and you can just do it whichever way seems more comfortable for you. But for this example, we're going to do it without the quotes for the key. Instrument is guitar, and let's say album. Are you experienced? And we can create a reference to that, like this here. \hash. And what that does is it takes the hash variable and it creates a reference and assigns that reference to the scalar variable ref. So if down here I print ref, and we don't need this anymore, we'll save that and run it. We'll see that it prints hash and the address. So ref is a reference to the hash at that address, which is this hash here, which is named hash. And again, this is even more common than to declare it that way, is to do it directly. And we'll call this hashref. And we'll use curly braces instead of the parentheses. And what that does is it creates what's called an anonymous hashref. So this here inside the curly braces, this is an anonymous hashref, and it's assigned to this hashref variable so that the way that you get it is through the hashref variable. And so we'll name this over here hashref, and we print it. We'll get pretty much the same thing, probably with a different address. So it says hash, which is the type that the reference is pointing to, and the address there. And so that's our hashref. Again, we can make a copy of it if we want to and say copy equals hashref. And the copy will look exactly the same. Save and run. And if we want to, we can operate on it just like we normally would with a hash. We can say for each my key, sort keys. And again, we're going to refer to the hash. We can do it through the copy or through the hashref. And value equals $copy $k. And so this is the dereference operator. We've seen this before with the array refs. And in this case, because it's a hash ref, we've got the curly braces for dereferencing the hash. And so we're getting the value by using the key in the dereference. And then we can message $k and $v like that, semicolon. And we save this and run it. Now this is a very, very common use of a hash ref. And again, we can pass around the hash ref itself. We can make copies of it. If I want to, I can add an element and just say $copy and create a new key, say song equals, and can name it here Purple Haze. And then when we print it out, we'll see that we have yet another element in our hash. We have song in there. It comes out at the end sorted after name. And we've done this through the copy. We didn't even do it directly through the hash ref because all of these point at exactly the same hash. And so we've actually added an element to the list by referencing it through the hash ref. So this is very typical of how hash refs are used. In fact, you'll often see them declared, just like this, as an empty hash ref, and then things are added to them throughout the program. So that's also not uncommon. So this is a hash ref. They're usually declared anonymously like this with the curly braces, although you can just create a hash and use the reference operator to get the reference and assign that to a reference variable. You can make copies of the reference, you can pass it around, you can pass it to and from functions, you can add elements to it, you can manipulate elements in it, and you can use it just like you would a hash by dereferencing it, either with the %, getting the entire hash, or with the dereferencing operator to get individual elements using the curly braces. And that is how you use a hash ref in Perl.